Colonizing Mars by 2050, the real step-by-step picture. It's the year 2050, and instead of booking a flight to Paris, you're booking a one-way ticket to a planet where the temperature makes Antarctica look cozy, where the air will kill you faster than a bad sushi roll, and where your dream home is a metal can buried under red dust. Romantic, right? Yet somehow, this is the vision that billionaires, scientists, and futurists are selling us. Humanity's bold new frontier. Forget beaches, forget cities. By mid-century, the hottest real estate market might literally be on another planet. Here's the big question. How do we actually get there? Not in the Instagram posting, TED Talk, we'll just build rockets and dream big way, but in the messy, step-by-step reality. Because colonizing Mars isn't about planting a flag and calling it a day. It's about logistics, politics, money, and, let's be honest, who's going to clean the toilets on the red planet? Now, if you think this sounds like science fiction, remember, we already have prototypes. SpaceX is building Starship, a rocket so massive it makes Apollo look like a paper airplane. NASA is running missions with Artemis, trying to put humans back on the moon as a dress rehearsal. The European Space Agency and China, they're quietly sketching their own Martian Airbnb plans. The clock is ticking, and everyone wants a slice of the red pie. Every step toward Mars is equal parts genius and madness. Rockets that cost billions. Habitats designed like glorified Tupperware containers. Diets that make prison food look like Michelin cuisine. And yet, people will line up for it. Because Mars isn't just a planet, it's a brand. A symbol of survival, ambition, and yes, ego. Your future address, Mars. Stay with me, because in the next sections we'll break it all down. Step by step, from rockets to housing to who actually gets a ticket, and why colonizing Mars might be less about saving humanity, and more about selling the biggest timeshare in history.
Own your piece of Mars. Limited lots.
Let's start with the obvious. You can't colonize Mars without actually getting to Mars. Sounds simple, right? Well, welcome to the most expensive Uber ride in history. Right now, the frontrunner is SpaceX's Starship, a stainless steel skyscraper on fire. Designed to carry up to 100 passengers, it's supposed to be fully reusable. Think of it as the low-cost airline of interplanetary travel, minus the free peanuts. Elon Musk claims it'll reduce ticket prices to around $200,000 $500,000 per person. Sounds like a deal, until you remember that's $500,000 for the privilege of living in a freezing desert with no oxygen. NASA, on the other hand, is taking the slow and steady route with the Artemis program. First, build a permanent base on the moon, then use it as a gas station for Mars. Think of it as the interplanetary version of a road trip. You stop for snacks and fuel before hitting the long highway. The cost? Over $93 billion projected by 2025. Yes, that's billion with a B, all for rehearsal. And don't count out China. Their space agency has already landed rovers on Mars, and they've announced plans for a crewed mission by the 2030s. Translation: while the West argues about budgets, Beijing is quietly packing bags. The trip isn't a weekend getaway. A one-way flight to Mars takes 6 to 9 months, depending on planetary alignment. That's 6 months in a tin can, surviving on freeze-dried food, recycled air, and the charming smell of 100 humans who haven't had a proper shower since Earth. Still think you're ready for your Martian dream vacation? But rockets are only half the story. Getting to Mars isn't just about technology, it's about risk. Radiation exposure in deep space can be up to 700 times higher than what we experience on Earth. That means every trip is basically a cosmic tanning session, except instead of a golden glow, you're risking cancer. So yes, by 2050, rockets will exist to take humans to Mars. The question is, who will actually want to buy a ticket when the fine print reads "Survival not guaranteed"? Congratulations, you've survived the world's most uncomfortable 9-month flight. Now comes the fun part, figuring out how not to die once you land. First problem, the air will kill you. Mars's atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide, with just a trace of oxygen. Step outside without a suit, and you'll suffocate faster than a goldfish in a microwave. That's why every home will have to be a sealed habitat, probably buried under Martian soil to shield from radiation. In other words, your dream villa is a glorified underground bunker. Second problem, temperature. Mars averages 63 degrees Celsius, 41 degrees Celsius. So unless you love camping in Antarctica without sunlight, you're basically living in a freezer. Third problem, resources. You can't just ship everything from Earth. It's too heavy, too expensive, and too slow. So colonists will have to master ISRU, in situ resource utilization. Fancy NASA talk for use whatever junk you find lying around. That means turning Martian ice into water, water into oxygen, and dirt into bricks. Yes, your new house could literally be made of mud. The future looks glamorous. Now let's talk scale. To be sustainable, NASA estimates you'd need at least 110 people for a permanent outpost. Elon Musk dreams of sending 1 million settlers over decades. Imagine the HOA meetings on that colony. Excuse me, but your solar panels are blocking my dust storm view. And of course, there's the psychological fun. Long isolation, small spaces, endless red deserts. Studies show that even in simulated Mars bases on Earth, people start unraveling after just a few months. Now multiply that by a lifetime. If Earth is stressful, wait until your neighbor's only hobby is counting dust storms. So yes, by 2050, humans could have bases on Mars. But don't expect sleek sci-fi cities. Expect pressurized cans, dirt igloos, and the constant hum of life support machines reminding you that one slip, the car's game over. All right, you've got your bunker. You're breathing filtered air, sipping melted ice, and pretending freeze-dried lasagna tastes like grandma's recipe. Now comes the real challenge, staying alive without losing your mind, or starting Martian politics too soon. Food first. Forget steaks or sushi. Your menu is algae, potatoes, and whatever plants can survive under LED lamps. NASA experiments show it's possible to grow crops in simulated Martian soil once you strip out the toxic perchlorates. Translation: dinner might technically be dirt salad. By 2050, bioreactors may produce lab-grown meat, but don't expect Wagyu. Think Martian McNuggets. Then comes energy. Mars doesn't offer oil rigs or hydro dams, so colonists will rely on solar farms and possibly compact nuclear reactors. The irony? Your survival depends on energy sources Earth still argues about. But when your neighbor's solar panel is covered in dust after the 47th storm, nuclear suddenly feels pretty cozy. And of course, politics. Who actually runs Mars? The 1967 Outer Space Treaty says no country can own celestial bodies, but it's vague enough for corporations to twist. Picture this. Mars is a company town where oxygen is currency and your boss literally controls whether you breathe. Welcome to Red Planet Inc. Please sign here and don't forget to pay your air tax. Now, the golden ticket question. Who actually gets to go? Spoiler, it won't be random dreamers. Early colonists will be highly trained specialists, billionaires, or people desperate enough to gamble their lives for a shot at history. In other words, a cocktail of geniuses, rich egos, and guinea pigs. Sounds stable, right? Here's the catch. Once you're there, you're not leaving. Returning from Mars isn't impossible, but it's brutally expensive. So, colonizing Mars is less like moving and more like exiling yourself with style. So by 2050, humanity might really plant roots on Mars, not in glittering domes straight out of sci-fi posters, but in bunkers carved into dirt, powered by fragile solar grids and stocked with algae smoothies. It won't look like Star Trek.
$1 billion
It'll look more
trip.
like camping in a hostile desert with $1 billion entry fee. And yet there's something magnetic about it. Mars offers the one thing Earth can't: a clean slate. No borders, no nations, at least not yet. Just a blank canvas where humanity could either reinvent itself or export the same mistakes with shinier spacesuits. Colonizing Mars won't just be about science. It will be about psychology, politics, and ego. Who controls the oxygen? Who decides the rules? And what happens when people start wanting freedom 140 million miles from home? Here's the paradox. Mars might save humanity from extinction, but it could also expose just how fragile we really are. It's not just about rockets and habitats. It's about whether humans can survive themselves in a place designed to kill them. So ask yourself, if the ticket was offered tomorrow, $500,000 one way, survival not guaranteed, would you take it? Enjoyed it? Drop a like and share with someone who's already saving for their Martian Airbnb. And as you close this desert red vision in your mind, remember, colonizing Mars isn't just about the future of space. It's about the future of us. Which side would you choose? The comfort of Earth or the gamble of Mars?